Trump was a pretty careless person because he was allowed to be. He's always been able to get away with just about anything he wants to. And a lot of that started with Roy Cohn. And a big part of that is he doubled down on any terrible thing he said, when most politicians would deny ever saying that they'd grab random women by their quote-unquote pussies.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news.
And all of a sudden I see her, she's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her looks. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Oh, nice legs, huh? Hello, how are you? Hi.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the bus.
Like a little hug,
Okay,
darling?
absolutely.
Trump doubled down on it.
This more than a decade-old video. Let's be honest. We're living in the real world. This is nothing more than a distraction from the important issues we're facing today.
But there's one thing you can't double down on. There's one thing that even if you have a cult-like following like Donald J. Trump, even your most loyal supporters will not follow you. And that's pedophilia. Trump cannot double down on pedophilia, and Trump understands this. But let's go back a bit and go through all the facts before we get into his insane flailing and reaction to all of his information coming out. Actions always have consequences, but those consequences can be often belated, especially if you're a celebrity. Take P. Diddy, for example. It was an open secret that he was a pedophile throwing these grotesque parties, and he was accused of even getting multiple people killed, most famously Biggie and Tupac. But nothing happened for decades. They say actions speak louder than words, but in politics, and especially with Donald Trump, if you talk about his actions, people will tell you it's fake news and liberal media and AI and all made up. So let's get into the things that Trump actually said before we jump into the actions.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
One of the photos the K-File found confirms that Epstein actually attended Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples. And this is the proof. Again, this has never been published before, so this is a new image. You haven't seen it out there on X or anything like that. The wedding date of this is December 20th, 1993, in the center of their friendship, which of course continued.
In 2002, he told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
But once the world found out exactly what those women were on the younger side of, Trump changed his tune.
I wasn't a big fan of Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want anything to do with him. I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein.
I am not a fan. He's the kind of terrific guy that I am not a fan of. He's a lot of fun to be with, and I don't like that at all. It is even said that he is a fan of the kind of beautiful women that I am not a fan of.
If you argue that he was just bringing Donald Trump 18-year-old women, you are really reaching here. I highly doubt Epstein happened to only show Trump 18-year-old women in the years that they were friends and flew on planes together and went to each other's. I'm gonna get into all that later though. Let's keep talking about the things he said.
It would be really disappointing. Not really. But it would depend on what was inside the magazine. I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
I have never been so grateful for an ellipsis in my life.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her?
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell. Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
Yeah, that's a really weird thing to say. If you don't know who Ghislaine Maxwell is, you've been living under a rock. But Ghislaine Maxwell was basically Epstein's right-hand woman in all of this.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison.
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
That's certainly something, and what makes that even more interesting is I would like to point out she's going to court soon, and the Republican Party told her if they quote-unquote like her case, she might not get as a severe punishment. What does that imply? If she doesn't mention Trump, she'll get a less severe case. That's what that means. That should at least open you up to the possibility that maybe something a little facetious is going on here. So now we're going to get into the actions. Trump and Epstein in the 80s and 90s were both prominent figures in the New York City business and social groups. They were known to frequent the same elite circles, including Palm Beach and Manhattan. In 1992, Epstein purchased a Palm Beach mansion, which later was revealed to be the center of his underage sex trafficking operation. Trump's Mar-a-Lago club was very nearby, which Epstein was a member of in the early 90s, although Trump claimed, decades later mind you, that he banned Epstein from the club. In 1997, Trump attended a party in Palm Beach Mansion, as reported by witnesses and later confirmed in court documents. So, unless you think Epstein cleared up his sex trafficking operation to have a party in the most evidence-filled property that he owns for absolutely no reason, and there was nothing mischievous going on at all, you're using your brain right now. In 2002 and 2003, Trump frequented Epstein's plane Lolita Express, proven by flight logs. And yes, Lolita, as in lolly. If you don't know what the word lolly or Lolita means, it is a sexual term made to look and represent a younger figure that is hypersexualized. So that's the plane that Trump went on. It was given that name because it typically visited Little St. James with underage girls. How fucked up is that? Epstein had several planes, so unless Epstein just randomly chose his aircraft most known for Lolitas to fly Trump in multiple times, this should be weird to you. In 2005, Epstein was finally investigated for sex trafficking, and Trump did not distance himself until around 2009 when the public opinion of Epstein shifted after the controversial plea deal. In 2015, Trump said he had a falling out with Epstein and hadn't talked to him in 15 years, which we know is a lie from the Lolita Express flight records, but we'll sweep that one under the rug by saying he just has a bad sense of time. Which he clearly does have a bad sense of time, because he says he'll fix every problem in just 2 weeks and then never does. Anyway, this is when the allegations came up. Multiple women were accusing Trump of sexual assault, which obviously Trump supporters say they're all lying. Which, with how many women are accusing him, and he was best friends with one of the most famous sex traffickers in American history, that's a little coinky-dink, but okay. In 2019, he finally distanced himself further from Epstein. Before this, he just kind of was distant on the subject, but now he was like, I don't know about that Epstein guy, guys. He used words like sick in reference to him, but still wished the best to Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2020, a testimony from a witness said that Trump likes them young. Although this was an offhand remark, not an allegation of misconduct, but it's absolutely weird, especially considering the circumstances. In 2024, more documents were released with Trump's name scattered in them. Many people claim Trump is innocent. He said he'd release the files. And he did technically say yes when asked if he would release the Epstein files. But most people have not seen the full extent of that clip. So let's just go ahead and play that.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these.
Yeah.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least...
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
A lot of baloney in him, huh? That's a weird thing to say. It might be time to climb off this hill, guys, but if it's still not, it's fine. I got one of the worst things yet for you. Here is Epstein's response to a very, very straightforward question. Oh my God!
But you're right. He probably said it for a fucking reason. That supports your argument better. So keep believing that. The pilot of the airplane testified that he flew Trump to the island 7 times.
That pilot said that former presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton had been on those flights. Actor Kevin Spacey, he said, had also been on those flights. And this is a man who worked for Epstein from 1991 to 2019.
In 2025, when he was divorcing Elon Musk tweeted that Trump is all over the Epstein files and we'd see it in upcoming evidence. And he was right. When they said they had an actual list of the people who went to Epstein's island, Trump panicked. Trump yelled at reporters and his own supporters for asking him about Epstein and said that anyone who cares about Epstein is not a real fan of his. He very famously tweeted on his platform Truth Social in all caps, "Stop talking about Epstein." Trump's base is uneasy about this, and the first time it feels like they don't accept something that he does. Now, don't get your hopes up. Of course, they still defend him to the death. They just think that he's handling this bad. And anyone who thinks that this doesn't scream guilt, I don't know what to tell you. I would say that Trump's base acting uneasy about this is progress, but it's really not. Because it's like January 6th. A lot of his base was uneasy about that too. But then 3 days went by, and when you bring it up, you just can't stop talking about the past. We're talking about January 6th? That was 4 years ago. Talking about Epstein? That was like years ago. Anyway, I'm gonna talk constantly about Joe Biden, who's dying. A ton of birthday letters to Epstein came out. They were all written in 2003, and guess whose name popped up but Donald Trump. And in the letter, where he was wishing Epstein a happy 50th birthday, he drew a picture of a naked woman. What is more terrifying than something... The idea that all the elite politicians who are going over to Epstein's island to have sex with children have the minds of like 13-year-old boys is terrifying. In a recent interview, he said he never had the privilege of going to an island. Come on.
Telling reporters he had been invited to Epstein's private island.
I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island.
Mr. Trump provided a new description of what happened to end his friendship with Epstein years ago. A dispute over employees.
Stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place. Persona non grata.
The president has not ruled out granting clemency to Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax.
And when you have this one hardcore line in the sand that everybody's been talking about forever, and then they're trying to gaslight you on that.
I swear to God, if you went up to Trump and you said, "Hey, Trump, all these rich millionaires were having sex with kids. Why weren't you? I mean, that's what all they were doing. Were you not up there with the big guys?" It's a 50-50 shot. Let's go through the 3 defenses that Donald Trump has about that letter. Number 1, which is not a real defense, but this is what he responds with sometimes, that we should focus on Bill Clinton. Donald? Bill Clinton is not the president of the United States right now. In fact, it's been, what, 25 years since he was in office? It's been a long time. We don't care anymore. Now, yes, I care. Of course, if he's guilty, he should go to prison. But he's the president. You did a lot of shitty things in regards to the Middle East. But when Biden was in office, the number 1 person I was complaining about when it came to policy in the Middle East was Joe Biden, because he was the president. You're complaining about how we're all stuck in the past. Who's stuck in the past now? You're talking about a guy who hasn't been in office in 25 years. I don't fucking care. You're the president. You should be focused on. Number 2, he said, this one blows my mind. He said that people impersonate him in letters a lot. Why? Why would someone in 2003, 14 years before your first term, impersonate you in a letter to Epstein with a drawing of a naked woman before it was public knowledge that he was a pedophile? And number 3 is really funny. He says that he never draws pictures. And Don Jr. backs it up. All you just proved, Don Jr., is that you never spend any time with your father because he doesn't love you. He draws pictures all the time! He famously drew so many pictures! He couldn't stop doodling! He sent them in letters, draw them for children, hung them up on walls. So you need to admit one of two things to me. Is he, A, lying out of his ass because he's a pedophile, or B, forgotten so many things because he's demented out of his fucking mind? It is one of these two things, guys. Here's Trump saying he fought over Epstein's workers.
He took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. You know, they work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end of him. I didn't like, when they steal people, I don't like it.
Trump was then asked if one of those people that Epstein stole from him was an underage girl at the core of the Epstein case, Virginia Giuffre. She was one of the most outspoken Epstein accusers, and she worked at the spa at Trump's Mar-a-Lago before Epstein hired her.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
I'm so tired of this. Every time something new comes out about Trump, and it is every day at this point, every day I'm adding something new to this damn script. I'm finally recording it, and I know in an hour something new is going to come out. Every single time Trump says something insane, and his supporters go, well, yeah, sure, it sounds like he's fucking kids, but he could technically be talking about something else. Right, but the chances of that, not high. Especially after all these times and all these weird coincidences that just so happen to fit together perfectly. Ask yourself this. Just ask yourself this. If Biden said all these things, if a letter came out that Biden wrote that wished Epstein a happy 50th birthday and had that photo in it, if Biden said that him and Epstein loved young girls, if just everything I've said so far, if all of this was in regards to Joe Biden, would you think that Joe Biden was a pedophile? And spare me, because you would absolutely believe Biden was a pedophile if all this came out about him. You want to know why I know that? Because you think Bill Clinton's a pedophile. And he absolutely is. But if you can look at the evidence against Bill Clinton and go, he was definitely on the Epstein list, which he was, then you should be able to do the same thing for Trump. Especially for Trump. Because Trump is a terrible liar about this. He just openly says it. It's like he goes out on the stage and says, hey guys, I used to fuck kids. And he's like, well, maybe he means he used to like fuck over kids because his business was so good. Anyway, there could definitely be a part 2 to this. Just because of how much information keeps coming out about it. But at the same time, if you still think that Trump is innocent after all that information, I don't think there's even a point in trying to convince. I mean, this is enough in of its own. But if enough information comes out, then sure, maybe. If you supported Trump, I hope I changed your mind, but with the Trump supporters base being so cult-like, I doubt I have the ability to do that to even a single Trump supporter. I hope to make more videos like this. I have a ton of political essay video ideas lined up, ready to be written and all that stuff. So yeah, I can't believe I'm finally recording this video, to be honest. See ya.